Welcome to Hidden Finance, the channel where economics and finance reveal their most hidden secrets. Today, we'll uncover a new mystery that has shaped global markets and influenced the economy. Rothschild, Warburg, Goldman, or Lehman. Yesterday as today, many prominent figures in the financial landscape have Jewish origins. This has given rise to countless conspiracy theories and baseless beliefs, which are, needless to say, unfounded. However, it is true that Jews have played a significant role in the financial sector. Setting aside strange conspiracies, today we'll explore the history to understand why many Jews became bankers and why they continue to be prominent in global finance. First, it's important to clarify that Jewish presence is not limited to finance. Jews are also highly represented in various other highly skilled professions, such as medicine, law, and academia. For instance, in the United States, as of 2022, Jewish Americans had a median income significantly higher than the national average, with 44% of Jewish Americans earning more than $100,000 per year compared to the national average of 24%. This raises the question, why have so many Jews achieved high levels of success in these professions? To understand this, we need to look back in history, specifically at the research of Professors Maristella Botticini and Zvi Eckstein. This story begins long ago in the region of Palestine under the Kingdom of Judah. In 63 BCE, the Kingdom of Judah was occupied by the Roman Empire, but rather than being dismantled, it was turned into a client state of Rome, a kind of protectorate. The Romans maintained existing local authorities for governance, but these local authorities had to comply with Roman orders. However, the Jews were not content with this situation, leading to several bloody uprisings. After the final revolt in 70 CE, the Romans responded by destroying the Temple of Jerusalem, the religious and political center of Jewish life. This left the Jews without a state and facing the possibility of their culture being wiped out. In response, Jewish communities took a crucial step forward, setting new religious norms and emphasizing education to preserve their culture. This move would, according to scholars, be pivotal in shaping Jewish success over the next 2 millennia. Survivors of these turbulent times decided that to preserve their culture, all Jewish males should study their sacred texts, the Tanakh and the Torah, starting from the age of 6. This marked the beginning of a deep cultural commitment to literacy and education. To follow the doctrine, Jews needed to learn to read and write, necessitating the systematic establishment of schools within every Jewish community, often located in synagogues. Moreover, there was a growing need to integrate secular education alongside religious teachings, encompassing history, mathematics, medicine, economics, and other fields. In a world where the majority of people were illiterate, by the time of 70 CE, Jews had become highly literate, providing them with a significant competitive advantage. Another crucial element introduced by new doctrines was the Talmud, which played a key role in the success of Jews in financial services. The Talmud, developed from the 2nd century CE onwards, is a rich compilation of regulations for daily life, designed to put sacred teachings into practice. One of the most significant aspects of the Talmud was its ability to provide a strong, stable internal regulatory framework for Jewish communities that transcended geographic boundaries, remaining consistent across different countries and regions. This stability made contracts between Jews, particularly in the medieval period, some of the most solid and reliable agreements available. The inability of states to enforce laws beyond their own territories, especially after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, made international contracts particularly valuable. Jewish communities, spread across North Africa, the Middle East, and Europe, could guarantee secure trade routes and offer reliable financial backing. This global network of Jewish communities provided another significant competitive edge, especially in commerce, which became increasingly vital from the 5th century CE onward with the rise of the Arab Empire. Jews excelled as intermediaries between the two sides of the Mediterranean, and their involvement in financial services began to grow in importance. As Jewish merchants accumulated capital through trade, they began to offer financial loans, supporting the growth of nearly every state in medieval history. However, this occurred in a precarious situation, as Jews were often expelled from cities by local authorities, who seized their assets, especially after accumulating too much debt. Popular uprisings against Jewish communities, often fueled by prejudice and envy, were also common. This precarious existence taught Jewish communities to manage their affairs while always being prepared for the worst. The situation in Europe worsened significantly after 1213, when the Fourth Lateran Council made life increasingly difficult for Jews, marking the beginning of a period that brought Judaism close to extinction. In 1213, the Fourth Lateran Council prohibited Jews from joining guilds necessary for most professions and urged Christian states to enforce similar restrictions, threatening excommunication for non-compliance. Additionally, all forms of lending with interest, labeled as usury, were deemed mortal sins, discouraging Christians from engaging in lending activities. This left more space for Jews who, while also facing restrictions, were less burdened by these moral constraints in the eyes of their religious community. As a result, Jews in Europe were increasingly pushed into finance and commerce, both activities viewed as disreputable by Christians at the time. However, due to the educational advantages we discussed earlier, Jews excelled in these fields. Despite this, life for Jews during this period was far from easy. By the year 1500, the global Jewish population had declined to less than 1 million, largely due to conversions and the harsh conditions imposed on them. Jewish communities faced constant threats, including expulsion and violence, particularly in Europe. In Spain, for example, the Jewish community was flourishing until the monarchy issued a decree in 1492 expelling all Jews from the country unless they converted to Christianity. This expulsion was more concrete and rigorously enforced than previous ones in countries like France and England. However, despite these challenges, Jewish communities managed to thrive after 1492, leading to an unprecedented population increase and wealth accumulation in the centuries that followed. As Jewish communities grew in prominence, they became the target of increasingly hostile conspiracy theories. For example, during the Black Death in the 14th century, Jews were falsely accused of poisoning wells and spreading the plague. In England, a myth emerged that Jews kidnapped Christian children for ritual sacrifice. Such baseless accusations fueled anti-Semitism across Europe, leading to further persecution. Yet despite this growing hostility, the Jewish role in finance and commerce continued to expand, driven by their unique position as intermediaries in a rapidly changing world. During the Renaissance, Jewish bankers played a crucial role in financing the emerging economies of Europe. Families like the Rothschilds in Germany, the Perriers in France, and the Goldmans and Lehmans in America, among others, leveraged their financial expertise to support the development of key industries. They provided loans and investments for the construction of railways, factories, and other infrastructure projects, which were essential to the industrialization of Europe and the United States. The establishment of ghettos in many European cities during the 16th and 17th centuries, while intended to isolate and humiliate Jewish communities, inadvertently strengthened their cohesion and cultural identity. Ghettos also offered a form of protection against violent anti-Jewish mobs. Inside these confined spaces, Jewish communities continued to emphasize education and trade, which allowed them to prosper even under adverse conditions. The Industrial Revolution marked a turning point for Jewish financiers. As the demand for large-scale investments grew, Jewish banking families, with their established networks and expertise, were well positioned to meet these needs. Their ability to offer financial services across borders, supported by a global network of Jewish communities, made them indispensable to the economic growth of their host countries. The financial success of Jewish families continued into the modern era, with many of them becoming key players in the global economy. Their influence is particularly notable in the development of the United States as a financial superpower. Jewish bankers and financiers played a crucial role in shaping the modern banking system, and their legacy is still felt today in institutions like Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers, which were founded by Jewish immigrants. In conclusion, the prominence of Jews in the financial sector is not the result of any conspiracy or secret plan, but rather the outcome of centuries of perseverance, education, and adaptability in the face of adversity. From the destruction of the Temple of Jerusalem to the rise of modern banking, Jewish communities have consistently turned challenges into opportunities, building a legacy of financial expertise that continues to influence the world today. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next mysteries of the economic world. But what's your opinion? Share it in the comments.